Everybody, you're back on the Joey Ciccone Show, connected. World Center of Broadcast Media. We're live here in Las Vegas. We're streaming out. Got the archives happening. 11 in the morning. We go to noon. My new friend, Tony Montana, in the house, man. What more can I say? Besides the book and his movie we'll talk about. And I let Tone talk the way he wants to. Like we were just talking about on the break. You need when he was telling us a story about Tony, man. We need you need like an hour and a half to really get into things. You really want to get into things? I'll sit down and we'll do a show live. We'd like to do a show live from a casino and like back in the day, and sit down and hear all the stories. Now, Tone, the thing was this: the club in Chicago was. And how'd you come up with these names like Dante's Inferno?
I'm pretty good at it. That's really my expertise. I'm pretty good at names, putting places.
I mean, I like that, Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, because the place upstairs, Dante's Inferno was about heaven and hell.
Right.
And upstairs, we made it look like heaven. I got the biblical boots that were in the church, made boots out of them.
Wow, man.
And then downstairs, a spiral staircase going downstairs, I made that look like hell. The girls wore little devil outfits down there. Oh, yeah.
I love that.
And as a matter of fact, one day I had a priest come in there to eat dinner. He said, he looked down and said, I will stay up here in heaven and eat.
I like that. Now, you had, it was basically filtered with a lot of bosses, right?
Oh, yeah.
Calabrese came in. I mean, they were all the bosses.
Matter of fact, Calabrese gave me the recipe to his famous pizza.
Yeah, you still got the, you got the still.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure got that.
Yeah, you got to keep that to yourself, no?
Right.
Oh,
no, it was great.
It's a good pizza, man.
Yeah.
So you ran and just to reflect, friends, from last week or the week before, Tone was just talking about it. We had enforcers, we had thugs, we had guys that did things and everything, and that's why I like the thing with your movie that's coming out. Right? Go ahead, read it.
What does that say? This guy is.
Yeah. Okay, Russell. I'll read it. You ready?
Yeah.
Because I still don't believe it. Russell, thanks for joining the show. This guy is 83. No way. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is 83, and he's sharp as a pistol. All right.
So that's what he's saying?
Don't get no ideas, yeah. Russell, you guys chime in, man. We love to hear you.
Russell, if I wasn't 83, I couldn't tell you these stories.
And you know what, Russell? The women love him. I've gone out with them before, and it's just like, Joey, yeah, can you go, like...
I don't look 83, do I?
Can you get a 7-7?
Russell, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much.
With all the women you're with. There were a lot. Tone.
They are there.
Tony, let me ask you something. When Tony said something to you, when Tony basically gave you an order, it was basically...
What do you mean when I was with Spilotro out here?
When you were with Tony Spilotro, let me clarify. When you were with Tony Spilotro, and he gave you an order, it was taken to heart. It wasn't something that you just pushed off the collar?
Well, before he gave me an order, we went all the way out to Steakhouse. Bob Taylor's way up on the north end of town, about 40 miles from here.
Yeah.
And to Tony and I, because I drove him out there, and we're sitting down. In dinner, he mentioned to me, he said, Tony, how far would you go? He was asking how far I would go. And I told him what I won't do. And then when I got done with that, he says, good, now I know what you can do. And as I'm driving him back home, I'm thinking to myself, I said, I should have thrown another half a dozen things in there I didn't want to do. I said, because if you ever asked me to do those things, I would have to do them.
Right.
Because I already told him what I won't do.
Right, and what I was mentioning here is, when he said, the story that I loved reading here, by the way, the book, please, do it. Christmas, it's a great present. He comes to you, he's like, we're in Chicago, right? Tony.
Yeah.
Sell the club. You come to Vegas with me.
That was Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, right. But I mean, sell the club. You come to Vegas with me. You just jump, and it's like, yeah, well, I'm fine with it.
The way he presented it is, listen, we're going to Vegas. That's how he said it.
The vodka.
And I says, oh, good, isn't, but you got to sell the club. I says, I thought we were just going to go to Vegas for like a weekend. I said, well, Tony, I said, we're doing great business here, but there's my no guy that wants to buy it. So he sold it to Joe Ferrolo, who's the boss. He sold it to Joe Ferrolo's brother-in-law.
Okay.
But he actually just took it because he had a clean name, and the money went back to Joe Ferrolo.
And he took it and went back then. So it all stayed
in the group, yeah.
It all stayed in the group, and then you came out to Vegas.
Then I came to Vegas.
Right?
1970.
All right. Tone, I'm gonna ask the questions. I gotta be the journalist. When hits were done, okay, when things went down, we know what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be around. But when hits were done and things were done, were you around some of these things?
No. You
were never around these.
No,
okay.
Because those conversations are all done very, very closely knitted. They don't. As a matter of fact, I knew half a dozen guys. That's all they were shooters. They would never come up to me and tell me who they whacked or anything. Never.
Right, and what I liked and what I saw on a piece of YouTube on a documentary that you did is basically it was like, we hit the drug dealers, the pimps, and basically other families that were against the family.
Well,
if I'm correct on that.
What they did is they went after everybody that was doing illegal enterprises because they wanted street tax. That's how they did it. If a guy opened up a topless joint, he was approached.
Right. He had to have the okay.
Not have to okay. No, you can go ahead and do it on your own.
Okay.
But they come knocking on the door. You don't even know them when they come there. They come to get you.
I gotta be okay.
And they tell you point blank, this is the way it works here. And that's the way it works.
And wouldn't you say that's still in a degree over the past years happened in Vegas somewhat?
Nah, not really, because
okay.
You got guys like Larry Flint opening up places left and right, all the hustler places. And matter of fact, he just opened up a Hollywood hustler thing on Desert Inn. They're selling all the girly stuffs, and they just opened it.
Yeah, we got to go there sometime.
Yeah, well, the thing is, no, it's so legit right now, Joey.
It's just different. But there's a name I didn't want to bring up, but there's a one and there was a two. They had some issues.
Who was that? Which one?
Well,
you mean a club in town?
Yeah, I forgot the name of the
there
one.
There could be guys out there just moonlighting, trying to go on their own. They're independent.
Right.
There's a lot of those guys.
Right. Let's look at Lawrence here. Can you read that, or you want me to read it? Lawrence, he's probably a good wingman with all these stories. Yeah, Lawrence, let me tell you something. He is a good wingman with all the stories. You know why? The stories are all true. It's not some guy like making up stories and making up things, okay? But we welcome you to the show. And please ask the questions. We love it. But Russell, again, he is 83, all right? I'm hitting some of my questions and everything over here, looking some things over. Your main job was for Tony was basically to open the clubs and control the money.
Well, basically in the beginning, yeah. You work your way up. You graduated. I first started as a lookout guy watching the bookies. When I was 14.
Okay, are we talking the Patch? Are we talking Rush Street?
The Patch,
where are we
all
talking?
the Patch, where I was born, the Patch.
All right.
And that's when I was with Fifi Butcheri. I was the lookout man to make sure any activity of police cars going around more than once, give them a call. And then I graduated. Then I became the driver to pick up the poker, well, they call them slush games, to pick up the players.
Right. The guys that were playing the games, because we talked about that. And
I used to have to bring them to the places where the houses were.
Yeah, we talked about that 2 weeks ago. Because bottom line, they want to see how you do, and then you graduate. You graduate to different things,
Right. That's the way it worked.
Nice shoes. You're a gangster. Those are beautiful. All right.
Well,
right?
It works.
All right. Let me ask you something, because I like coming with the questions today. You call yourself. Or maybe someone else calls you, but I love it. The quiet strength.
Very good friend of mine. He was, I tell you, he was really my mentor. His name was Mike Glitt. He was a boss with Caesar. And he sees the way I work, and he never hears me say anything and moves around. He came up to me and said, Tony, come here. I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, Mike, what is it? Here's some, when people talk to you, you just nod. You don't say nothing.
It is true.
And you get the job done. Why do you have this quiet strength going for you? Why do you do that?
I love that.
I said, Tony, Mike, I said, Mike, look, I'm a firm believer. It's best to remain silent and be taught a fool than to speak and remove all doubts.
I love it.
So I went through life that way. If I didn't know something, I listened like I knew. They never look for a respond. They just keep talking.
Well, I love that, and I love what you were talking about 2 weeks ago when you would go into a club
Yeah, not
and
say hello to
and
nobody.
with your wife, it
No.
wouldn't be like, Tone,
No.
how you doing?
No.
Jimmy, nice to see you and everything.
No.
It was all,
And
you know.
nobody, I never had any one of them by my house for dinner.
right, nice. Everything was done differently. Remember me and you talked about the Sopranos and this and
No,
that?
that
how
was,
things
yeah,
were
well,
done like that.
Sopranos, that was a
Gabish.
myth.
Gabish, that's why I never watched it. But anyway, on that. Now, was the outfit moving into drugs at one time?
No,
Okay.
not while I was around, no.
And that's what I like. You know, I know we see movies with Hollywood and different
But
things.
now, wait a while now.
Go ahead.
They didn't move in drugs,
Okay.
but if drug guys were doing it, they were tapped on the shoulder for street tax.
Okay. So
But
say
they were independent. That's what I meant with well, even out here, they would grab escort services. They grab everybody that was doing things illegal.
okay, but could I be with the outfit, or would that be a different organization?
No, the outfit just wanted the street tax because they were doing drugs. They don't care what people's doing for a business, for a living, as long as it don't compromise theirs.
Okay, but if I was with the outfit, could I
No,
sell
no.
drugs?
No.
Okay, so
You know
this-
why?
Go ahead.
One of their famous saying is, the more links you put to a chain, the weaker the chain gets.
I love that. I heard
And
that.
what
from
happens
you.
with that is, when you deal with drug dealers and druggy people,
Right.
there's too many links.
right,
And when one falls
the chain,
off,
the chain breaks. Forget about it.
it's over with.
Yeah. So they let them do their thing, but there was a tax they had to pay.
And they told them to stay out of areas. They couldn't do it in the patch.
Can I be sure? Yeah, they couldn't
No,
be
no,
over
no.
there.
They
No.
do your thing, but
No,
they
you
had
gotta
to
be
pay
in
street
a-
tax. Yeah.
You got to be in
Because
all
they
the-
even went into black areas in Chicago and took over the policy.
Right.
Mhm.
Beautiful, Scotty. Scotty in the house today, my engineer. I'm with the sweetest guy, man. This book, man, I'm telling you right now, I've had a lot of books in front of me. Tone, it's an easy read.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
I got a
li-
new one coming on.
That's
as
what
well,
I like.
yeah.
I know. Go ahead, lay the new one down.
Well, the new one is the book is what the movie's going to be. The Devil's White Fedora.
Right.
It's about and why it's called the Devil's White Fedora. In Chicago, the 42 gang all wore white fedoras, and all the 42 members became outfit men.
Right. And just if you don't remember, 2 weeks ago, the 42 gang out of Chicago, and then Al Capone pulled them into his.
Yeah, because they were a thorn in his side,
He figured if it's a thorn, you know what? Bring your friends closer.
and they were good. They were all young kids, 15,
Bring
16.
them closer, right? Before we go to break, we got 10 seconds. You guys, come on, I want you to chat in. Everybody out there, you watching the Joey Ciccone Show. I got Tony Montana on. Let's ask the questions. Real quick before we go to break. You did time for 18 months in San Diego.
No, I did that. Joe Pig did that. I did it.
I thought,
No, Joe Pig did that for.
but didn't you do that in 1986? Didn't you do some
I
time?
went to jail for 2 years in Boron.
Oh, okay, I
Did
saw.
the 18 months in San Diego. That's where Joe Pig went
Oh,
for
okay,
contempt of court.
and I want to, and when we come back, I want to talk about Joe Pigliano, right?
Pignatello.
Pignatello, wasn't he?
Sam Giancana's chef and chauffeur. Yeah.
He was a chef and chauffeur, but he was a very close friend of yours too.
Oh yeah, for years.
Yeah, that's
He,
what
he
we're gonna.
was Neapolitan like I am. Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about. Nabuladan, Gabi.
Yeah.
I'm with Tony Montana, Joey Ciccone, The Connected Show, World Center of Broadcast Media. We'll be right back.